Alright, boys from 4x3, or dare I say 5x3. I think it's time we get back to work. Hopefully you have enjoyed your summer holiday and is still enjoying your summer holiday, right? Now, but you know, right? Our teaching progress is a little bit slow. Therefore, I'm recording this series of video so that you can watch the videos before the school. And after school resumes, we are going to jump straight into doing exercise instead of teaching all these content again, right? Now, so for this series of video, I will teach in detail each and every topic of that, right? Now, I know some of you thinking, 唔係話 Sir， 前幾個咪教咗咯。I know, just as a revision, right? Now, therefore, you please arrange the time to watch the videos, as the series of video is going to be quite long, especially when it comes to per unit text and per unit subsidy, okay? Now, these notes has been uploaded to Google Classroom, obviously, right? So in case you lost it or something, right, just download it to your iPad, or if you like, you can print it out. Okay, so for this first video, we are going to talk about price ceiling as a revision. Okay, now since we have covered price ceiling in our actual face-to-face lesson already, I'm not going to waste too much time here. Now, if you remember, price ceiling just stands for maximum price. 唔俾你高過某個位. In real life example, the only example I can think of would be something we call rent control. 係咪啊？近排都成日講㗎啦，租金管制啊。Okay, the owner cannot charge too high a price for the tenant, right? 好嘛，好啦 to be effective, remember it needs to be lower than equilibrium， 一定要低過 equilibrium 啦 ，OK？ 好嘛， now remember the objective is to lower the price。當然啦，係咪啊？你唔想佢收咁貴啊嘛，先至唔俾佢 set 咁高嘛 ，OK？ 好嘛 ，is to lower the price. Therefore, we know the price would drop. What happens to quantity transacted? Remember, by law of supply, we know that QS would drop. Now, therefore, there would be something we call a shortage, okay? And QT would drop compared to original. Now, this one is relatively important, okay? Because this part would be kind of the tricky part when it comes to doing actual exercise, okay? 好嘛，好啦 now remember total expenditure P times Q. Now since now we know P drop, Q also drop. Now therefore it must be dropping. OK 好嘛，嗱呢個唔解啦，呢個上堂講咗好多次啦。And the side effect, what side effect do we have? OK, now number one, we know that there would be a shortage. 咩叫 shortage 啊？ It means that in exam we know this is not an equilibrium. 你唔好亂寫啊，唔好話the new equilibrium quantity 咁咪賴嘢咯。No, not equilibrium, okay? And number two side effect, we know that someone will not play by the rules. 有人會唔聽話啦，於是啦 there would be black market. 有啲人梗係做黑市啦，係咪？好啦，嗱呢個唔講啦，上堂講過啦，好嘛 ？Also graphically as a revision， 好啦，唔知大家記唔記得啦 ？Remember P and Q, right? 好嘛 ？Normal demand curve, normal supply curve. We start with our original PE and QE, okay? 兩個 equilibrium 啦。Now with an effective， 嗱記住啊，重點係 effective price ceiling, okay? It needs to be set lower than equilibrium. Let's call this PC, okay? Now since this is effective, we know that the price would drop to PC and the quantity transacted would drop from QE to Q1. Okay? 係嘛？上堂都講過啦。Just as a revision, how do you check whether graphically this is effective or not? Okay? Now you just put out your hands. If you remember, ceiling means that it is 天花 right above. So you install a ceiling here. Do you see the original point? No, 記住啦 objective is to lower the price, to make the original point disappear. 而家啦，原先嗰啲唔見咗咯，咁咪成功咯，係嘛 ？Original point disappeared. Okay, so this is effective. 好啦，嗱 very quickly, let's also revise a little bit how to do this table form. Original price, equilibrium price, and equilibrium quantity. Okay, 嗱唔講啦，$3 6 units. 唔講啦，上堂講咗好多次啦。Now, suppose the government sets a price ceiling at $2. OK， 而家啦2蚊整個price ceiling 啦。OK， now first of all, remember 上堂講過好多次都要講。OK, first step number 1, you check whether this is effective or not. 有冇用先？如果冇用嘅 there will be no effects. OK, now we see $2. This is below equilibrium. 係咪？而家係低過 equilibrium 喎。So if you remember, our objective is to lower the price. We know this is actually effective in our case. OK， 好嘛？好啦，有用啦。Then we know immediately price would drop to $2， 係咪啊？我哋知道啦，2蚊雞啦。好，個重點係啦。Now the new 嗱唔係 equilibrium 啊 ，the new 嗱所以死咗啦呢度 ，sorry 啊 ，no new market price 嗱 not equilibrium price， it should be new market price and new market quantity transacted 唔係 equilibrium 啊，冇 equilibrium 喺度好嗎 ？Here let's see at $2 QD 8 QS 4。Do we take QD or QS？ 嗱，如果你仲要諗咧，你肯定有問題啊。Remember, we do not take QD or QS. Instead, for step number 3, we take the smaller amount. 我哋係攞細啲個 number, which in our case would be 4 units. Okay? Now, so if you have been paying attention, you know that in this case, there will be a shortage of 4 units. 係咪啊？有4件嘅 shortage 啊。Okay, so this is how we deal with the table. Now the notes here, okay, it's just this one. Remember, smaller amount here. Not QD or QS. This is not the way you read it. Okay, you always take the smaller amount. OK， 個技巧就係啦，唔好睇 QD， 唔好睇 QS， 係睇細啲嗰個。OK， 得唔得 ？All done. Next page. Now let's do some examples and be done with this video. 8分鐘啦，我想整短啲啊。OK， 好嘛？ Now the first question you will see. OK, in the above figure, the market price of good X is fixed by the government at P prime. OK， 好嘛？好啦，嗱佢哋講 fixed 咗喺度啊，佢又冇講係 price ceiling 定 price floor 係嘛 ？It only says it is fixed here. Now, if the demand increases from D to D prime， 我哋望望啦。Now, OK, equilibrium 1 will be here, but the government fixed at P prime. OK, therefore, we know that this is quite an effective. 呢個係有用嘅喎。Effective price ceiling， 因為低過佢啊嘛。Now somehow PE has to increase even further, but would the market price change? No, it would not change. 好啦，既然 market price 唔變 we know that actually Q would also remain at Q prime. 冇嘢變啦，而家除咗 demand 變之外 ，OK, excess demand would be greater. True， 呢個啱嘅噃 ，OK. Originally, the excess demand at P prime would be this guy. Now, the excess demand at P prime after the increase in demand will be the red guy。見唔見到啊？真係多咗嘅噃。OK，quantity transacted will not change exactly what we mean。OK，now sales revenue would increase. No, P doesn't change, Q doesn't change. Therefore, total revenue doesn't change. OK，answer 1 and 2 only。OK， 好嘛？嗱，呢個所以小心啲啦，小心啲啦。OK， 嗱 next year，1996。Suppose initially the price of good is fixed below market equilibrium。好啦，見到 below 啦，我哋知道啦 ，this would be our price ceiling。Relaxing the price control. What does that mean? When you relax something, you take away or you make it less serious. 好啦，而家呢個 price ceiling 冇咁緊。What does that mean? It means that actually price would increase. QT would also increase. And shortage would drop. 好嘛？呢個上堂講過啦，唔講啦。Increase in revenue definitely 1號就一定啱啦。點解啊？嗱 ，P increases, Q increases. It means that P times Q, which is TR, would increase. Decrease in demand 錯啊！記住啊 ，when P increases, it is the quantity demanded decreasing。記住啊，唔係 demand 啊，係 QD 啊。So number 2 not correct。好啊，其實我哋知道答案係咪肯定係 B 啦。嗱唔緊要，睇埋3、4先。Number 3 an increase in revenue 唔係啦，嗱關唔關 elasticity 事啊 ？No, nothing to do with elasticity. P、Q both increase。話知佢咩 elasticity 一定升啦。好嘛 ？So number 4 increase in quantity supplied. Yes, exactly. Law of supply。好嘛 ？Law of supply. Alright, now next we have this table, right? 好嘛 ？Now here, let's see. Equilibrium will be $6, 12 units. Now it raises the price ceiling from $4. 嗱記住啦嚇，好唔好啊 ？Step number 1 is it effective? 好啦 ，since this is below unit price, so yes, it was effective。好啦，咁即係原先啦。The original situation is at $4, but we all remember $4 how much, how many units sold? The smaller number。好啦，而家變成8蚊。嗱記住啊 ，price ceiling becomes $8. So what happens to this $8 above equilibrium? Ineffective. Therefore, it should changes from $4 to $6. 唔係8蚊啊，係去到6蚊咋嚇。Quantity transacted would increase from 8 units to 12 units. So increase by 4 units. Easy, right? 繼續啦，2013年 ，suppose the government introduce an effective rent control。見到頭先講啦 ，rent control is exactly our price ceiling, which set a maximum。佢講埋俾你聽，呢個真係超好人啊，係咪啊？Now which of the following statement is correct? Remember, with price control, price would drop, Q would also drop. There will be a shortage of rental units. Exactly， 頭先講咗 N 咁多次啦，係咪啊 ？Landlords would have less incentive to rent out their flats. Exactly, right？ 係咪啊 ？By the law of supply, because price decreases, we know that QS would also decrease. 呢個咪 less incentive 咯。So number 2 is also correct. Number 3, the landlord will spend less. 正常啦。點解啊 ？How do we explain? Think about it, right? P decreases, Q decreases. What does that mean? It means that the revenue would decrease. 好啦，你既然收少咗錢啦 ，what does that mean? Your profits would also decrease. 賺少咗，我梗係唔使咁多錢落去裝修啦。Profit decrease. Of course, I'm spending less. OK， 好嘛 ，so number 3 is also correct. 1, 2 and 3 easy job, right？ 好啦，第17年啦。OK, suppose the government impose an 又係啦 effective rent control (PC), right? Now which of the following would least likely 唔該你小心啊，好賤啊呢條係 least likely 唔會發生啊。OK， 係嘛 ？Shortage we know it will happen, right? Black market 頭先講咗 will happen. Landlord lower incentive 啱啱先解完 it will happen. It's actually C. Poor people will be unable to will be able to rent a living flat more easily. 點解唔啱啊 ？On one hand, we know that price decreases. Therefore, poor people will find it easier. 唔啱咩 ？But then, B. Quantity would also decreases. 即係咩意思啊？有錢你都買唔到啊 ！Not enough for you to rent. So it's actually harder. So in total, is it easier or harder? We do not know. 鬼知容易咗定難咗？我鬼知啊！ OK， 好嘛 ？So this one is a very important question。唔該，你呢題一定要背咗佢啊 ，especially option C。OK， 好多人係會錯㗎。OK， 得唔得 ？Easy。So next page, which is the final page of this video。16分鐘啊，超晒時啦。OK， 好嘛？ Now here shows the market supply and market demand 唔讀啦。OK，price ceiling lower from PA to PB。好啦，嗱記住啊 ，step number 1啊，佢俾埋你啦 ，explain whether it is effective or not。好容易啫，擺手落嚟。Do you see the cross? Yes, the cross is still here. Therefore, A is ineffective. Why is it ineffective? As it is set set above equilibrium， 因為佢 set 得高過 equilibrium 咯，咁咪冇用咯。OK，set above equilibrium。OK， 嗱唔好意思啊，寫得有啲樣衰啊，好難寫啊。My actual space, the table is very low actually. OK， 好嘛，好啦 B 啦 ，explain how a fall in price ceiling to PB would affect their total expenditure. OK， 好啦，記住啦 ，originally。Since it is ineffective, it started at P1, Q1. Okay, 好嘛 ？Originally, originally it was at P1 and Q1. Now, PB is effective. 我諗大家都估到啦，係咪啊 ？PA 唔 effective 啦 ，PB 係 effective 啦。Since it is set below equilibrium 唔寫啦 ，OK， 整短啲啦，上 video，OK。Now therefore, the new price would be at PB and Q2, which in the diagram 小心啊 indicate 啊 the change will be this one, the drop in total revenue. Total expenditure, which is the same in this case. OK， 好嘛，咪跌咗咯 ，because it is effective. Therefore, it drops from here 寫清楚啲先 ，drops from P1 to PB. OK, Q1 to Q2， 咁咪跌晒咯，全部嘢。OK。得唔得 ？So this is how we do it。嗱呢個上堂講過啦，唔嘥時間啦。And the last question here, country A has imposed effective price ceiling. OK， 好嘛 ？Effective price ceiling. We know that P decreases, QT decreases. OK, now suppose country A eliminates all illegal transactions， 即係冇 no black market。OK, can price control ensure all lower income buyers can obtain 嗱 we know answer 嗱呢個啦係咪啊 ？You can refer to this one 2017 question 18. Okay, you can refer to this one, right? We know the answer is no. Okay, because with a effective price control 而家啦佢係有用噶嘛 We know that the quantity transacted, or in this case, the quantity supplied would drop, and actually there will be a shortage. Okay, now what does that mean? It means that even if the lower income buyers can 做乜嘢要寫緊啲乜嘢啊？好急啊 ！Can afford， 就算啊，佢俾得起錢啊 ，it is unavailable avail for sale， 你有錢都買唔起啊 ，OK 好嘛 ？And this is by the law of supply， 根據 law of supply 嘛。OK， 好嘛？ Now, do you need to answer in such detail? Now, I think 4 marks, there is no need to be such detail. OK， 好嘛？ But for revision sake, remember, effective price control by the law of supply, we know that price, OK? We know that price would go down, and by the law of supply, quantity supplied would go down and result in a shortage. Okay, so even if the lower income can afford it, it is still unavailable for sale. No one is selling. Okay, so and that would conclude our video on price ceiling. So for the next video, we are going to revise a little bit on price floor. So I'll see you again in the next video. See you then.